Hello, I'm Pelz-Sharpe from the Real Story Group, and this is our 2012 technology predictions. This is our 10th anniversary of being in business, which is pretty amazing, and this is our 6th year of doing these predictions, so bear with me. I'm going to sort of run through them at rapid pace. For those of you who are interested, I'm actually in our Boston office this time round, and as of next week actually I will be in London opening up our new office there, so all very exciting. So the end of 2011 is certainly happening for us, and let's see what's going to happen in 2012. Now, these are not my predictions, these are the predictions of the whole team of analysts here, and I hope you can check them out in more detail on our website, www.realstorygroup.com, but let me fly through them for you. Number one, big data meets web marketing. Big data is absolutely the trendy phrase to use in any technology discussions right at the moment. And big data simply means all of that stuff that typically sits in data warehouses now. And that world of structured data and the world of unstructured data is finally starting to talk to one another and recognizing the potential of one another. So web marketing is really starting to tap into that, and we're going to see a lot more of that in the coming year. The enterprise search market is going to be opening up. The big news of 2011 was the acquisition of Autonomy by HP, a huge acquisition that really nobody could quite make sense of. But the reality is it's put search back into the spotlight, and certainly some of the smaller players who were around and maybe falling under the or falling into the limelight a little bit more in 2012 will really take a boost from that. So I think that market's going to open back up. We're going to see social technology spring to life in SharePoint. SharePoint is a phenomenon, coming up to a $2 billion business now, but its social networking, social working, workplace type capabilities have always been a little bit behind the curve, and I think we're going to see that becoming a prime focus for SharePoint in the coming year. CRM and CMS, CRM, Customer Relationship Management, and CMS, Content Management Systems, on a bit of a collision course. They're both sort of recognizing that more and more people really are interacting via the web these days, and they both sort of have something of an overlapping agenda to connect with customers, and so we're going to be seeing those two start to recognize each other's existence and maybe do some interesting things in the coming year. Number 5, death of the intranet as we know it. My colleague Tony posted a blog on this just recently, and it caused a bit of controversy, but the reality is the intranet probably as a whole isn't going away, but certainly as we know it, it is going away, and its value and purpose is being really challenged, and we're starting to look more at that mobile social workplace as a phenomenon rather than the internet. Number 6, BPM springs to life. Now this is a perennial favorite for any technology prediction list. BPM, Business Process Management, it's always there. It used to be called workflow, but it really is starting to make it now into bigger budget projects, and the whole concept of business process management and greater efficiencies in times of a recession is certainly playing through, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that actually in 2012. Number 7, rich media, digital asset management is going to become much more mainstream within typical enterprises. Up until now, it's been very much a sort of a niche technology hidden off to the side, and a lot of enterprises are really starting to engage more, utilize rich media more, of course, making rich media files, be that video, photography, audio, whatever, is becoming much easier to do, and certainly people are expecting more from that, and the management of those files and that media in enterprises is becoming more and more critical. Number 8, got to get technology phrases that are trendy into the whole predictions thing a second time. So big data blows into the cloud, and the cloud was the trendy phrase really of 2011. As we said, big data is going to be the trendy phrase of 2012, and we're being pretty facetious here, but it's the reality. The technology industry is very, very fashion driven. So big data blowing into the cloud, really again, if we think about it, all of that information, data warehoused information, tons and tons of of data that can be analysed, can be sliced and diced in various ways. That's really going to be the big push there for the cloud. Moving some of that information there and utilising not only the storage but also the processing capabilities of the cloud, which should make some of that data and those capabilities a little bit more accessible for the real world, if you like, of business applications and content management. Number 9, mobile becomes more than a feature. It becomes a must-have requirement. So many organisations now are starting to look at what's their mobile strategy, and they're being pushed into it because their employees and their customers are buying the hardware themselves, be that iPads or smarter phones or ever thinner and more mobile computing devices of all shapes and sizes. So having a mobile strategy and a way to manage a mobile environment is becoming an absolute must-have requirement. Bit of an obvious one there, really. Number 10, new jobs are opening up. Indeed, the marketplace for jobs is changing in our part of the technology sector, and we are seeing jobs starting to come through, like digital librarian or a marketing technologist. These kind of jobs are certainly sort of still being moulded and created, but they're becoming ever more real, and people are recognizing you need real skills to do some of these jobs. You can't just throw somebody who's available in the organization at it. Number 11, security concerns to the fore in 2012. Security concerns particularly because we're just having this ever-growing growth of mobile devices particularly. And of course, you know, people are literally walking around with all the confidential data which would have been on their company's network, on their devices. So security is certainly going to be a greater concern, you know, and people are going to be asking, where is my content? Again, bit of an obvious one there. These problems have been around for quite some time, but they're really getting to a critical point now. And finally, number 12, commercial open source crossover. Basically, more of a divide in the open source WCM world. We've been seeing that happening for a while now. A lot of open source options, be it ECM, be it portals, be it even search or web content management, are becoming more sort of commercial in nature and structure. And so that sort of the world, the crossover between the what we might call the traditional model and the open source is getting very, very mingled, and that's just simply going to continue through the coming year. So again, that's my quick run through. You can read much more about this in detail on our website, and also very interestingly, you can look at last year's predictions and our analysis of where we got it right and where we got it wrong. And feel free to join in the conversation both on the website, via Twitter, or hopefully in 2012 in person with one of us at the Real Story Group. Thank you very much.